How's everybody doing today? The usual suspects. Martin, thanks for popping in. David, Dr. Bob, Peter, Mr. Cole, excellent. Okay. So I thought it'd be fun today to I know we've talked about structured data before, several times, but I've seen quite a few discussions about it on the community lately. One in particular was today. So I thought, hey, you know what? Maybe it's time to kind of review structured data in 2024. Okay. And some of the ins and outs. Now, a lot of the other talks where I've talked about structured data, I talked about SEO in general, and structured data was part of it. Today, we are only going to talk about structured data. That's it. Okay. So yeah, we're going to dedicate it. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to go for an hour or maybe we'll go shorter. I don't know. We'll see. Whenever I think we're going to go shorter, I just keep talking, right? It can't shut me up, I guess, sometimes. No matter how much Josh tries. Mr. Workman, Powers, Josh is here. I hope that audio and visuals are okay. I didn't ask. Everything's green now. I think I solved my plagued issue from earlier this year, where for a few weeks, I was having some streaming issues. So luckily, it looked like we got all that squared away. Okay. So to start off, I you know what? Actually, before that, I spent like 20 minutes getting all the URLs I wanted to show you guys today in Safari, and had all the tabs open. And right before I started the stream, I freaking closed the Safari window. And now all the tabs are gone. Great. What an idiot sometimes. But anyway, let's go ahead, and I wanted to show you. Yes, Henrik. So yeah, you asked a question on the community, and a lot of times it was like, what am I going to talk about today? And I saw your question and was like, hey, you know what? And there have been a lot of other questions talking about structured data. So I figured, why not? Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, okay, let's go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So first off, I do want to share. Let's just go to the Weaver Space YouTube channel. Okay. And if we go to lives, SEO, again, I am only going to be talking about structured data today. If you didn't know, you can go to YouTube, and instead of searching up here, if you go to straight to my channel, okay, you can actually search just my channel. Okay. So that's super convenient. Guess what? You can also go to stacksguru.com. I got to give Chris some love for all the work here. Stacksguru.com. Right? And you can search all my videos here as well, right? And he has a form. If there's any videos that you find are missing, go ahead and submit a form. And there we go. So yeah, a lot of great talks. Let's see if I can find the talks that I was going to mention today that if you haven't watched, you should. This was first one, technical SEO tactics for 2019. I know it says 2019, okay, but guys, and I know that seems like 5 years ago was a long time, but technical SEO doesn't progress that fast. There are some new things, and we'll talk about some new things in today. But yeah, great video. I remember this one. It's still good, still great. Okay. Also look at. Okay. Well, there, we're gonna go over here and other ones. So there we go. Technical SEO tactics, SEO checklist. Okay. From 2020, 2021. Okay. That's a good one. And next one is test and fix SEO issues on your website. Okay. Another one that's from 2020. So there we go. Check out those 3 videos. If you haven't watched those give a lot more general SEO. And they do talk about structured data a little bit, but there's a lot more data in there about SEO. Okay. And then, okay, if we go to the summit site, if you've attended summits in the past, if you bought tickets for this year's summit, right? We're 1 month away, 1 month, April 5th to the 7th, 100% online. Get your tickets to the summit. It's going to be great. Okay. But I'm not here to sell you on that. Well, maybe I am, but I want to show you, if you go to the replays, and we go to filter and we filter by SEO, there's some great talks in here as well. Okay. So if you bought a ticket this year, you get access to all the past videos. Okay. So I did a talk on SEO for 2023 last year. It's a nice one. I actually skimmed through it this morning. Yeah, I was like, wow, I did a really nice presentation on that. So that's a good one. Mari does a fabulous job. I don't know if you're here, Mari, watching. Sometimes she watches these lives. Amazing talk on content. Andy Allen of Hike SEO gave a great talk on easy wins. And then we had some big guns also. Josh Hardwick from Ahrefs. Okay, if you know Ahrefs, I think they're a great company. And one of the premium SEO tools in the world right now. Okay, he talks about traffic. And then Brandon Hufford did a great talk on local SEO, which I think is very important. If you have local businesses and you want to do some local SEO, definitely check that out. And the infamous Brett Carmichael and Greg Barchard has a couple great talks here too. But yeah, so that is a ton of really great high level or high value, I should say, content on SEO. Right. But today, like I said, we're going to be talking about structured data. And I wanted to tell you, if you go to help resources, there is actually a link here. Okay. If you didn't know, go to help resources. I have some cool, things here to kind of static resources that you can check out. All kinds of things. So the second one here is actually on Google structured data. I didn't add this today. It's been there since January, actually. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at this one right here, actually. We're going to go ahead and open that. And actually, while we're here, we're going to open up this one too. Okay, but actually first, let me back up a little bit before we start diving into structured data. Let's talk about what the heck structured data is, right? What is structured data? So our websites have data, obviously, okay? And we want people to find our websites. And in order to find them, we need to have good content on our websites. Now, it's getting to the point where, yes, Google can completely index all of our web pages, but at some point, Google needs to guess at what something is that it's looking at, right? So if we go to here, let's just quickly go to, let me share my screen again. Okay. Right. If we go to Weaver Space, okay. And Google's, let's say Google's indexing this page, and Google doesn't know what letterpress is or moving box or SEO helper, or it doesn't know if Weaver Space is a knitting website or for web design, right? It doesn't know. It has to try to guess and decipher based on the content of the web page and the type of people that are linking to it and all kinds of other stuff. It has to guess. And wouldn't it be nicer if we can kind of help Google a little bit? Okay. And we help Google through a few things. There are meta tags, obviously, on the page, which we're not going over today. Okay. Title, description, other meta tags on the page, right? But there are other things called structured data. And this helps tell Google a little bit more about the content that's on the web page, right? For example, actually, we're going to go a page I actually had up. I think it was URL inspection tool. Okay, so we're going to go to, now this is a part of, oops, I wanted to open that in a new tab. Hold on, I'm going to open up URL inspection tool. Okay, good. So this inside Google Search Console, hopefully I'm not going to review Google Search Console. I've done it in those other videos I talked about. Okay, hopefully you know what it is, and hopefully you've added your site to Google Search Console. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and inspect the Weaver Space Stacks page. Okay. So I told Google, hey, look at this web URL and tell me what you know about it. Okay. And guess what? It found a bunch of products. Okay. And look at all these products it found. It found all these products, which I know every single one of you have every single one of these products, right? And if we look, boom. Now there are some non-critical issues, and that's because I don't have some optional fields. Okay. Some people email me, why don't I, they're optional. Okay. There's a reason why some fields are required and some are optional. On my site, I didn't want these optional fields. Okay. So there we go. Nanner. But it successfully found 126 products. And this was, if you're curious, it was my stacks page, right? So I told Google to index this page. And it found all of these. Now, Google knows they are products because I have structured data on this web page. Okay. Now you might be asking, where are you adding this structured data, Joe? I'll show you where I added it in this page just for fun. Okay. Just so you can see it. I'm not going to explain it all. I'm just going to show you where it exists. Okay. Let me go ahead and try to make this. It's in this one. There it is. Okay. So if we see inside this layout, okay, I have this layout here. And inside there, this looks probably very funky because the inspector kind of does this, right? But here is what's structured data about this particular product, right? So we're looking at this product, and each one has these structured data. Inside each of these has a bit of structured data, and that structured data informs Google that, hey, this is a product. The product's name is Slot Machine 4. Here's a small description about it. Here's some URLs to images for that product, right? It's for a brand of Weaver Space. Here's the price for that product, so on and so on and so on. Okay. So structured data is metadata that isn't a meta tag. Okay. It's more rich. It has more data. Okay. So if you looked through all this, and we'll see it for later on today, all the data that it has. Right. So that is what structured data does for us. Where was that page? Boom. It tells Google about things on our web pages, specific things, right? So Google now knows that this web page contains 126 products. And then obviously if you were to go to each individual product page, there's a JSON for that particular product, right? So there we go. Okay. So that kind of talks a little bit about structured data and what it is and what it can do for us. Now, let me back up a little bit more, because a lot of times if you search the web or you read things about structured data, okay, you're inevitably going to find yourself at this website, schema.org. Okay. Now, I have wasted many of hours on this website, especially when I first learned about structured data. This was many years ago when it was not quite there wasn't much content on it about it, right? When I first added it to SEO Helper, which we'll talk about in a little bit. What is schema.org? Well, if we look here, schema.org is founded by Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, and Yandex. Yandex is a Russian search engine. Okay. So basically all these companies kind of got together to form like a standard, basically. Okay. And this website has hundreds, maybe even thousands of different schemas. Okay. And they've changed it. I kind of had to relearn it a little bit today. Before, they just had like a huge list of everything. Now there's too much to have one list. So they've kind of created this hierarchy of things, right? So if we go to like a place, so we have things, and then there's a place, Under place, there's accommodations and there's administrative areas. Here, let's go to, here's a local business, right? And if we click into any of those, we can see here's all the data attributes that we can add to a local business. I mean, there's just a lot. And it's this site is very overwhelming because there's a lot of data and not very much help. Okay. If you're new to structured data, okay. Now, if you scroll down a little bit more, it helps us out. It kind of gives us a little bit of information. So another thing to talk about is there, you'll see that there's different ways of doing structured data. I'm not going to confuse you with all these other ones. JSON LD is the way to go. Okay. So that's what SEO Helper uses. So in particular, here is a structured data for this particular data type, which is a local business. Okay. Now here in this local business, there's other, so as you see here, we have type restaurant, but here's a nice example. You can copy and paste this and kind of do your own little data massaging to help you out here, or you can use SEO Helper. Okay. But they do have some examples towards the bottom, which I think are a little bit more helpful than this big, huge thing here. Okay. These are just all the various data attributes that you can add. Okay. So anyway, I don't want to confuse you too much, but there are hundreds of schemas available on schema.org. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, just stay out of that site. Don't waste your time. Okay. Because, well, let me get rid of some of these web pages I don't need anymore. Because there are, as I said, hundreds or possibly over 1,000, maybe multi-thousands of schemas available on schema.org. Okay. Now let me have a little heart to heart here. Okay. There are many of them. For example, Hendrik today, right? Oh, sorry, Henrik. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Henrik. He found that on schema.org, there was a service schema for a service business. And he's like, you know what? None of the schemas that SEO Helper have kind of fit into what my business is. I have a service business and there's a schema for that. Okay. But, okay, Google doesn't support a schema for a service business. So you can add a schema to your website for service, but if Google doesn't support it, then what's the point? Right? Does that make sense? Right? So, I mean, you can go in schema and find a schema that fits exactly what your little niche is in the world. But if Google doesn't support that structured data schema, then there's 0 point in putting it on your website, in my opinion. Okay. Maybe you put it there so in the future, Google might support it. Okay. Maybe if you want to do that work, but I think it's a waste of time. Okay. So how do we know what Google supports? Okay. And actually I was in preparation for today, I saw that Google's actually added quite a lot. That SEO Helper, which we haven't talked about SEO Helper yet. But I'm assuming probably most of you here are aware of SEO Helper and own it. SEO Helper supports a lot of structured data. It used to support every structured data that Google supports, and now Google's kind of leapfrogged me a little bit, and it has a bunch that I don't support yet. Yet being the keyword. Okay. So I got to this web page via that help resource on Weaverspace, right? So if we go to Weaverspace, right? Remember, if we go to help resources and we scroll down in here, right here, Google structured data. This is the documentation from Google for structured data. Okay. And you can go, we're going to review a lot of this today. I'm not going to go through this web page word for word, but we're going to talk about all of it. Okay. Over here in the sidebar, though, this is an important one. You'll see feature guides. Okay. We scroll down. Okay. These are all the schemas that are supported by Google. These ones are not a waste of your time. Okay. For example, if we go to article, okay, there is a dedicated page to article. You can go in here and you can see the exact snippet that you would need. Okay. Or you can use SEO Helper. Okay. But here's the exact data snippet that you would need. Okay. It gives you some more guidelines and some more information about it. In some cases, it actually gives you little previews of what, if you implement this on your web pages, what your potentially what your Google will serve up your pages as, right? We'll see that in some of the other ones that I know have examples. I'll show you. Okay. And if you scroll down, here's all of the data fields and the type of data that Google expects to be in there. Okay. So yeah, this is important. Okay. It has the little do's and don'ts here. Okay. So anyway, this is the web page you should be looking at. To hell with schema.org. Okay. These are the structured data items that you will want. Okay. Now, for example, let's go. I know a big one that Google does is recipes, and structured data. SEO Helper does not currently support structured data. Oh shoot! I'm not sharing my screen. Darn it! I hate when I do that. Okay. Jesus. Let me back up. Rewind. Okay. Thanks. You can thank Josh. He texted me on my Apple Watch. I was like, who's texting me on my Apple Watch here while my live stream's going on? Okay. Back up. Jesus. Let me back up. Here is the web documentation page for Google. Okay. And I got to this through, I hate when I do that. Go to help resources, right? Here, Google structured data. Here's the documentation page for it. Okay. You can also just Google or search your Google structured data, and it'll be one of the top results. Okay. But I have the link here in the help resources section on Weaverspace community. Okay. All right. So what I was showing you, what is important, okay? Now remember all that impactful things I was just telling you about is over here, featured guides, okay? On the webpage, featured guides. Okay. These featured guides here on the side, these are the ones that you care about. We don't care about schema.org because implementing all of these things are not a waste of your time, or are less a waste of your time. Some of them, I think some of them maybe don't give you too much benefit, but they're super easy. It doesn't take a ton of time, and it's kind of a one-time thing, set it and forget it sort of thing. Okay. So what I showed a second ago was article. So if we look at the article, we'll see that there's a nice documentation page from Google. Google's actually made this doc site for structured data much better over the years. Okay. And it gives you a full example of what to use. Okay. Now you can go ahead and copy and paste this into probably an HTML stack, right? Don't use the default HTML stack. Use either the one from Foundation 6 or the one from my starter pack. Okay. Yeah. Use one of those. Okay. They're a little bit different. Okay. So use one of those and, or use my SEO helper stack. Okay, which hopefully everyone here has, okay, because it supports, I know it supports article and a bunch of others. But like I said earlier, SEO Helper doesn't support all of these yet, okay? So here's an example. They have a lot of documentation on all the various fields that are required, okay? They have some best practices on how to do things, okay? So if you have multiple authors versus one author, or all kinds of kind of like little gotchas, right? So yeah, and there's documentation for every single type of structured data. Now, I noticed that they had a couple, like there's book actions, and then down here, there's vacation rental. Okay. Those have these little shields. And those particulars say limited access. Now, I am going to speculate here. I read the docs, or I didn't read this entire page word for word, but I skimmed through it to try to find out what limited access meant. From what I understand, only certain allowed websites you can have this, let's say, a book action on your website, but Google will only accept it from certain websites. Probably, in this particular action, Amazon, Google Books, Barnes and Noble, right? So if you were like an accredited or an approved book dealer from Google, then this structured data will work. Okay. And for example, like if you're doing a vacation rental, I'm sure only sites like Airbnb and VRBO, approved sites. So you just can't create your own and expect this structured data. Now, maybe you can have your structured data. Maybe Google will see you. I don't know how to get inside on that, limited access thing. They don't really say that. But yeah, there are some that have limited access. There's also some that are under beta. So the speakable one, which is actually completely new, I'm not sure what it is, and the special announcement, okay, those are under beta, which means that they're obviously in testing. So the docs for these might change or something might change about them. I'm not going to go through each and every one of these individually. Okay. The docs are very good. So yeah, definitely go through all the, these, find out what is applicable to you, and then use either SEO helper or, just copy and paste onto your web pages. Sweet. Okay. Next up is, once we've added structured data to our web pages, we want to be able to test it to make sure it's good, right? So this is a structured data markup testing tool, okay? And I actually linked to this on the community as well. So those of you asking for links, go to the Weaverspace community, go to help resources. It's the second article here, okay? If you click on see more, there is a link to the schema markup testing tool, okay? Here, and just for fun, I guess I will put links to these in the chat as well. Why not? For those lazy people, Mr. Scott Spam. Okay. There we go. I'll put links to both of those. Okay. So there are two testing tools here. Google's has one, as well as there is a one on Schema. Okay. Like I recommended, since Google is the reason we're doing this, using their testing tool is probably for the best. Okay. If there's any sort of implementations on top, that they've done on top of the standards, Google is going to tell you about that, right? So if we go to, let's just go ahead and click on that. And here, I'm just going to put in, let's do bento, right? I haven't done this before. Let's test my structured data on the bento product page. Testing the live URL. It's going to take a minute or two. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Okay. Do, 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 do. Man, it's taking a while. Oh, there it goes. Hey, cool. So hey, look, there's no errors. That's cool. Okay. So it detected 24 items. And why did it, let's bring up the product page. Let's bring up bento. All right. So it detected product snippets and detected a bunch of products on here. Why is that? And so the reason it did that, it was yes, this is the bento product page, but on the very bottom, I have this you might also like, right? So it did detect these. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I'll be honest here. I guess it kind of makes sense that, I don't know. Is there a way for me to say, hey, this is the main page for this tool, but these ones are like like less important? I don't know. That's an interesting question, but it did find all of them, right? So it found the bento, and then it found all of these other products. Okay, which is interesting. Okay. And if you go into any of these, there's those non-critical issues. It's the same things that we saw earlier. I just don't use some of the optional fields. Okay. And then successfully crawled. 11 valid items preview results. Oh, look, and there we go. It even previews the result. So, interesting. So there we go. That's in Google search. If someone were to preview, get that as a search result, then this is what they would see in the search results. That's kind of cool. That's actually something new they didn't have on here before. And you can preview in smartphone. You can only preview in smartphone. Okay. Interesting. I like that. That's kind of cool. Good job, Google. Okay. Seemed like there was. Go back to test results. So there was product snippets, and then there was merchant listings. And again, those are all the products as well. Interesting. Okay. Breadcrumbs. So I have a breadcrumb here. If you're curious what a breadcrumb is, let's go over here. We go to breadcrumb. It determines breadcrumbs is structured data that determines like the hierarchy of something, right? So in here I have a breadcrumb of a stack, and then the higher up page is RapidWeaver stacks, which I need to change so it's just stacks, right? Thou shalt remove RapidWeaver from everything soon. Okay. So there's my breadcrumb. Found that, and it found an organization, which is Weaverspace. So it found Weaverspace. It found my legal name. It found the website. Found the logo. Found description. All kinds of stuff. Right? Pretty cool. I like it. So those are all of the search snippets that it found. Now, what other things could I do? I've actually thought about, like, Google has a video one, which is actually relatively a new thing, right? Maybe I should start adding, videos, because on my product pages, I obviously have videos here, right? I have videos here. Okay. And then I have, a video up here. Maybe I should add structured data for that so that Google can see that I have videos on the page, right? Even more ways of enriching my search results by displaying that I have videos on these pages, right? So that's something I can improve on. Okay. Let's look at what else I could do. So I recently did add reviews to my product pages. So if we look at the reviews, we have some great reviews on Bento. It could be cool to add reviews. Now here I'm using a service for this. Okay. Eventually, when I release CMS3, I plan on redoing all the review system, just using total CMS, which, and at that point I can then do structured data for that. I'll look into this service, see if they support structured data reviews. Hopefully they do. Then maybe I can add that. I'll tweak into that. That's something I could look into though, right? So reviews could be something. So I did product. I'm not sure what product variant is. That's actually a new one for me. Not sure what product variant is. I'll have to look at. Oh, that's so if you have a coat, but then you have variants of that. So green, small, medium, extra large, so on and so forth. That makes sense. Doesn't make sense for my products, but that makes sense what a product variant is. So we have a movie carousel, interesting image. I guess I could, you could do stuff about images as well. So, if you wanted to put in maybe for screenshots, or, you can go all out on this. How much is it going to help you? I don't know. Okay. But, yeah. Do you want to have a piece of structured data for every single image on your page? I don't know. It's up to you. But it's possible now. Home activities. What is that? That's an interesting one. 20-minute aerobic workout reduction. Okay. There we go. Interesting. Boxing workout. They're all workouts, but I'm assuming there's more activities to do at home than working out. But okay. Interesting. All right, I'm not going to dive into each and every one of these, but yeah, there's FAQs. I think I removed the FAQs section. I did. I used to have FAQs on here. I removed those and moved it over to the community. That's right. Okay. So yeah, that is the structured data testing tool. Okay. Super useful. Just for fun, let's go ahead and look at, let's play with the one. Here, let's go all the way back here. And let's look at this one. Why not? We're playing around here. Let's go ahead and use this one from schema.org. WStacks. Let's look at the same page, Bento. And run test. Let's see. So zero errors, zero warnings. There we go. It found 3 products. For some reason, it only found 3. Oh, interesting. They're interesting. Their testing tool isn't quite as intelligent as Google's. So their test. So if you notice this one, so it found Bento, right? And then here it found this. If you look in here, there's like little twig things. Okay, and that's because down here in the HTML, that twig template exists, so I can create the structured data for each of these, and it's generated via JavaScript. And Google's smart enough to know that what I was doing, and schema.org wasn't. So, all right, strike one for schema.org's tool. But you can run it through there. I think Google's tool is a little nicer. But yeah, there we go. We ran it. You can kind of see the JSON in here. Oh, did it actually take you to the JSON when we? So if I go to organization, oh yeah, it kind of shows you where it is. That's kind of cool. Google's didn't do that, but it kind of shows you what it looks like in your actual web page, which is kind of cool. Organization breadcrumb list. So if I click on that, does it? Oh, there we go. You have to click on the individual items. I like that, but overall, I think Google's tool is a little bit more valuable. So, okay. So I guess now all we have to do now is go to implement it, right? So let's learn about how to implement structured data on our web pages. Go ahead and look, I still had this open. Good. So if you are adding, perhaps I can make my services home activities. It depends on what sort of services you're doing, I guess. Okay, this is a children-friendly, family-friendly show here. So when you add, let's start over. If you have SEO helper, go ahead and add SEO meta tags to the page, and then you can go ahead and add structured data. Okay, so you saw I had organization. I also had breadcrumb. You can do, I think there's website. I think I do that one on my homepage. I don't put it on every web page. I saw someone said organization should only be on a homepage. Possibly. I don't know the ramifications of that. That's something maybe we can look into at the Google. They have organization here. Organization. What do they expect? Google can make this markup. Examples, guidelines. You must follow the guidelines. Second, recommend. Oh, okay. So Google says, so I'm doing a no. So, yep, someone is, whoever said that was right in the chat. They don't recommend you put organization on every single web page. It should be on your home page and maybe your About Us page, but that's it. So, makes sense. So yeah, organization, you're not going to want on every web page. So good shout for whoever said that. Okay. So yeah, that's a good point. Make sure if you look at these, read the docs so you can kind of understand how Google is what they're expecting to see. Okay. So there we go. Oops, where were we? Here. Okay. So you're going to add all your structured data in here. Okay. Now, some structured data though, for example, when I showed you my product pages, or like on this product page, they're all down here. Oops. Okay. These are on the bottom of the web page. And as I said earlier, when I showed the main stacks page, I have the structured data embedded inside of my layout. Now, how do we do that? Right. Because for this page, let's say, for example, in here, the structured data for this product page is like in the page header. Okay. It's with all the meta tags. And that's where that data goes when you add it inside of SEO Helper. Okay. So when the structured data here, let me just minimize these. When all of these are inside of the meta tag stack, those are going to get added into your page head. Okay. Now, what if I wanted to have this within my grid? Okay. I'm not going to go ahead and build out a whole product grid here. Let's just go ahead and do something simple. So we're going to add a block grid, and let's just pretend like these block grids were, a bunch of products. Okay. Now you can automate this with total CMS or feeds and all that stuff. Okay. But essentially, let's say I want to add a product. Okay. What you're going to do is you're just going to drag that out of the SEO helper stack, and it's going to be inside your layout. Right. So if you're doing this manually, you're going to have a structured data for every single product. Okay. And then you're going to go into here into the settings and add all of your data here. Okay. Now, I do have in structured data. Let's see. Let's pick a different one that has, some of them have. I think local business does, for example. Local business. Yes. Okay. So in local business, I have basic fields. So all of these, when something is there, it is going to be required. Okay. If it's in a group called like additional fields, or maybe some have optional fields, these fields they're optional. Okay. So they're not necessarily required. Okay. And actually another way to do it is, if you're looking at the structured data, for example, I'm going to delete price here. Okay. Okay. Price disappeared. That means it's actually not a required field. Okay. I deleted product name. If you notice here, name is here with a blank. Okay. That kind of gives me a hint that that's a required field. Okay. So if I delete the content of a field, okay, and you don't see that here, then it's an optional field. I added a bunch of logic into SEO Helper to kind of help us automate that. Okay. But check out the Google Docs, find out what they're expecting, what fields they require, so that you can make sure that you add the data that you need inside of your structured data. What are the benefits of structured data for breadcrumbs? It just helps Google define the hierarchy, right, of your web page. Go to the breadcrumb product page and read up on it. Okay, but basically it just tells Google there's a hierarchy to your page structure here. Maybe we have website and then books and then a book, or a category and then book, or something like that, right? So it kind of gives Google a hint on your hierarchy of your web page. Okay, we should also be doing that with URLs, right? So if you're doing proper SEO, again, covered in other videos, here I have my domain, stacks, bento, right? I mean, I have an obvious structure to my URLs here. Okay, that's very simple to follow. All right, and I just realized I forgot to do my little cursor thing for you guys. I know you guys like that. So yes, I mean, but the structured data just gives Google a little bit extra help to learn about our structure rather than assuming the structure. Okay, even though you should be doing a good URL structure. Okay. Hopefully that helps out. Now, what happens if here, let's delete some of this so it's less to look at, less confusing here. Okay. Let's say, for example, there are some fields that you want to add to your structured data that the SEO helper stacks do not support. Okay. Essentially, every SEO structured data stack from SEO helper has this add custom attributes. Okay. And basically what you will do is you're going to add in the extra JSON directly into here. Every structured data stack has that. I mean, from schema.org and other, and maybe they're adding new things. It just allows for extensibility in the future so that, yeah, any sort of data that I might not support directly in the settings, you can just add directly into this organization, let's say. Okay. So there's that. Now, what if you're one of the, the few that don't have SEO helper? How can you do this? How can you implement structured data? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to go ahead and Google supplies the snippets for you. Okay. So you can go ahead and copy this snippet. Now you're going to want the script tag. Make sure it says type application LD-JSON. Okay. So you're going to copy this script tag, and you can go over here. And what you're going to do is you're just going to add in an HTML stack. Okay. Now this is the Foundation 6 HTML stack. I recommend using either that one or the one from my free starter pack. So there's no excuse. My starter pack is free. Go get it. Okay. So yeah, then you're just going to select everything in there, and then you're going to paste in your structured data. Obviously edit this to be whatever you need, and you're good to go. Okay. Now this will work if, also within like product grids. So you can do this in your grids. So, and this will also help even if you have SEO helper, but SEO helper, maybe you want to use a math solver. Okay. I don't know. Maybe you're doing maybe this is Bill Burden's next thing, right? He's going to go from stamps to math solving. Okay. And yeah, we need structured data for that. So there you go. There's a math solver, structured data. It's quite interesting. Okay. There we go. Pretty simple. I think that about does it actually. We've covered all the topics, the whys and hows of structured data. We talked about where to learn about it, where to get more data from it, and we talked about how to implement it using SEO helper, which I think is the easiest way. And then, using just a plain HTML stack if you need that. I do have plans for a big overhaul of SEO helper after Stacks Pro ships. Okay. And at that point, I will add a lot more. I'll analyze the SEO or the structured data from Google, what they support now, and I'll add a bunch. I'm probably not going to add all, like, for example, like math solver. If you let me know if someone needs math solver or some other, off the wall kind of side thing, let me know if after the update, you're like, hey, I was really hoping to get, maybe I'll add home activities. I don't know, but math solver or, vacation rental, maybe I don't add those and you really, really wanted that. Let me know. I'm always open to feedback. I always ship way more free updates than any other developer probably in the world. So, there we go. Okay. And yeah, I have a lot of other cool little things I want to add to SEO helper as well. So stay tuned for that post Stacks Pro launch. Yes. Yep. Get on Google, Bill. Like, they really need a stamp structured data. Like, why do they not have that? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, everybody loves stamps. Everybody uses stamps every day. I get tons of stamps every day, and I don't appreciate them enough. I think if Google had a structured data for stamps, then the world would actually appreciate it more. And you'd be a gajillionaire. That would be awesome. So cool. Let me go through the chat, see if I missed anything else. How do I know SEO stack is for F6? I see 2. Oh, okay. So if you have Foundation 1 installed, the original version of SEO helper used to be in Foundation. It was this one. Don't use that one. Okay. SEO helper, the current version is these ones that have the little spyglass and the little rainbow around them. Okay. This one is very old, very outdated. and has only a sliver of the functionality of the current one. And if you add it to the page, it looks red. So there you go. Okay. These are the new SEO helper stacks down here, minus the SEO RX. That's a stack from Greg Barchard from Chili Dog Software. Okay. If you have my starter pack, there's also the SEO basics. That doesn't have structured data though. So it only has the basic meta tags you need for a web page. Okay. It's a good question. Orange one or the green one? The green one. I think this is a partial. That's a partial. I have the partial. I think it's just a partial of the SEO helper stack. Right. There we go. So yeah, I would use this one right here. Okay. It is this guy. That's what the icons look like. That guy right there. That's the one you want. It's the SEO help, the SEO stack for RabbitWeaver for stacks. Okay. Yeah, it's good. Don't take my word for it. Ask everybody else. It's a good stack. What are the benefits of SEO? We talked about that. Thanks. Good to know. The resources are found. Blah blah blah. Which version of SEO to use in the project file? Okay, I answered that. Yep, use this one. The ones that have this little spyglass, okay, with the rainbow around it. Those are the ones you want. If you own that, that's what you should be using. Right? Search for SEO helper. Oh, SEO helper. I mean, that's the name of that stack. That's from Foundation 1. Don't use this one. This one's a partial lot. I called SEO helper. Not even sure why that's in my project, but there we go. It's these guys right here. Those are the ones you want. Sweet. Okay, guys. Guess we're gonna call it a day. If you want more learning today, okay, because your brain isn't full enough from today's live stream, go check out the videos that I showed earlier. The ones from the summit, the replays, some great ones, as well as the 3 live streams that I talked about earlier. Okay. Check those out. If you want to fill your brain, maybe even make it go over capacity, then you can be an SEO expert. And then you can talk at Weaverspace Summit 2025. Okay. I expect it. Cool. Okay, guys, we will see you on Friday, the hangout. Yeah, be there or be square, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time, which is 1 hour from right now, but on Friday. Okay, so hopefully we'll see you there, and go forth and make your websites great. Bye, everybody. Oh, wait, man. Okay, I didn't prepare for this, right? But and I think I forgot to do it last week. Is our fun contest? I forgot to do it. I think for 2 weeks actually. I think I forgot. And did I give? Did Erwin win 2 weeks ago? I don't remember if I sent you something, Erwin. I didn't. Send me a message. I think it was Erwin. I don't remember now. Shoot. All right, but let's do it today. Okay. And I did not prepare a question again. So, people are already typing in numbers. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Shoot. Okay, we'll do a number based one. Has not actually. Let's see how well you guys actually know me. Okay. Well, this will be a 2-part question. Okay. What type of dogs do I have in my house? I have all my dogs are the same breed. What breed of dogs do I have? And this is a 2-part question. How many do I have? Canine. What breed of canine do I have? A punt size. Maltese? Nope. Oh, I'll give you a hint. They're mostly white. Some have some brown. 3? Oh, close. I used to have 3. And then we had puppies. And we didn't get rid of all the puppies. They are white. I'll give you a hint. Cheerleader. Cheerleader. That's the best hint I can give you. Come on, what do cheerleaders use? You know, like in their hands, in their hands, in their hands, in their hands. Man, chihuahuas. What? A cheerleader doesn't use a chihuahua, Jason. What the heck, dude? Their palms, yes. Okay, and how many do I have? I even gave you a hint. How many do I have? How many do I have? Man, I'm telling you guys. Okay. Oh, okay. Dr. Bob. There you go. Although you didn't say pom poms, but man, all right, I'll give Stephen Jones and Dr. Bob the $10. Okay. Remind me. I think I forgot to give Erwin his money 2 weeks ago. So remind me, Steve and Dr. Bob, and I'll give you $10 gift cards. Okay. To the Weaver Space store. So yes, I have 5 Pomeranians. And yeah, they're awesome dogs, but having 5 is quite a bit, even though I love them all now. So anyway, okay, guys, we'll see you Friday. Take care. Go out and make your websites great. Bye.